Hey y'all, it's Taylor from Tattooed Teacher Plans. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today I am doing an updated version of my system and how I use my system throughout the week. I currently use 4 planners. These are them. So I've got my plum paper vertical priorities in A5. I've got my Sadie's stickers planner, the dated version. I've got my Moxie Life companion notebooks and my EC teacher lesson planner. So each of these planners have their own purpose, but they all work together each week for me, and they make my life easier and better in their own ways. So the purpose of this video is to show you how my system works throughout the week. So I'm going to check in almost every day to show you just how they work in conjunction and alone. And we're going to start with, oh, by the way, I will have my planner stack video listed down below if you want to see these planners in more depth. So let's get right into Sunday. This is Sunday before the week starts, and I'm going to need to use these 2 planners for a couple of things. These guys will come in later this week. Really, my teacher planner, I just kind of check in with the week and see what's coming up and see if there's anything that I need to put in to my daily, weekly planner here. But as of right now, there's nothing pertinent that I need to put in there. So we're going to move those 2 out of the way, and we're going to focus on these 2. So I use the Moxie Life companion notebooks for my goals, and then I use my vertical priorities planner for my weekly layout and for my daily check-ins. So let's go to this week in this planner and in this notebook. All right, so a couple of things. I've already got this set up, but I'm going to show you my process. I set up my weekly actions before I do anything for the next week. I look at my reflections of the week before. I look and see if there's anything I need to transfer over to the next week. And then I write my weekly actions based on events that are happening that week along with my monthly goals. So I check in with my monthly goals and make sure that I'm covering everything in here that I need to get done this week. And then I write usually 2 to 3, except for this category, 2 to 3 things for each category that I want to get done this week. And I put in a little place where I can check it off. And I will check in with this planner every day. So this stays open on my desk all week. And then if there's anything I want to add during the week to my reflections, I go ahead and do it if it's on my mind. So once I have my weekly action set up, then I can actually set up my week in my plum paper. So let's switch to that. So I'm going to just show you very, very quickly how I set up my spreads here in my plum paper. If you want to see the detailed version, you can always watch any of my weekly plan with me's. But I just like to start by decorating the page a little bit with some stickers and washi, just some decorative elements. And then I set up the spread, the functional side. And I start by creating space for my headers. I add some color with the markers and dot marker. And then I also add in my habits for the week. So I just write those in so that I have them here. And I pull them from my weekly actions for the most part. And I have 5 every week that I keep track of. This just keeps me on track, and it helps me to check in with my goals every day. Then I add in a space for daily gratitude along with my videos for the week, just so that I remember which ones are going up when. So I just add in a little sticker for that. A lot of this is decorative, but it is really functional for me in its own way. This is not everyone's style, of course, but for me, it really works by giving me an outlet for fun, but also to give me some function. And the last thing here is I set up my sleep tracker. This helps me to be cognizant of my sleep and be proactive in tracking it and making it better. And then I just add in things that I know that are happening for the week, along with I check my monthly calendar and add in just things that are coming up. So this week in particular, it was payday, and then I always check in with my goals on Saturday and Sunday, so I pulled a goals check-in sticker for that. And then I just grabbed a couple of functional stickers for my weekend because it's smaller. I want to set aside some time for my workouts, so that's what those are for. And then just adding in those little elements that I just mentioned real quick. So it is Monday, and my routine on Monday is to, of course, check in with my planner. I usually do that before I go to school in the morning, and then as soon as I get home, I actually sit down and dig in. I also review my weekly actions or my goals for the week so that I know what I need to work on. The other thing that I do is I order pictures for my memory planner, so I'm going to pick those up later today, and then sometime later in the week I will go ahead and work on my memory spread for the week before. I also take my teacher planner to work and I review it and update it every day. I work in this planner all day, but it stays at work. So this is going to go to school today. So here is what I'm working with this week, and I will go ahead and update today and anything else that I need to add for the week. So when I get home from school, I sit down with my planner and I go ahead and update it for the week. I add anything that is coming up that day that I need to get done, and then anything that I know of later in the week. I also add to my sleep tracker and I update my habits. On Mondays, I also set up my memory planner notes so that I have these ready for the next week when I actually sit down to create my memory spread. So I use this notepad from EC. I've been using this for several weeks, well, several months at this point, and it works. It's got enough room for me. I actually just ordered another one because I only have I think maybe 6 pages left of this one. I did create my own, but I just haven't figured out exactly how I want to get it printed and everything. But this is what I'm working with for now. So this is the week of 2/14. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in my dates here. So now it is all ready to go. This sits over here on the side of my desk so that at the end of the day, I can go ahead and fill this out. So we've already talked about Monday specifically, but let's talk about every other day of the week. There are 4 things that I do every single day. One is when I'm at school, I always check in with my teacher planner and I look over the whole week, especially that current day, and see what are my lesson plans and then what do I have coming up, any meetings, anything I need to prep for. When I get home from school, I sit down and I take about 5 to 10 minutes and spend time in my Plum Paper Vertical Priorities and my Moxie Life Companion Notebook. I go ahead and fill in the day's column, put in my workouts, be sure to distinguish between priorities and to-dos. I update my habit tracker and my sleep tracker, and then I also check in with my goals. This is the third thing. And I check off anything that I can check off, and then I look ahead and see what can I add to my planner, or what do I need to be thinking about and prepping for to then do later in the week. The fourth and last thing that I do every single day is I add it to my memory planner notes. So I have this set up from when I did it on Monday, and I just add my notes in chronological order. I do this so that I can have it for when I actually build my memory spread on Tuesday or Wednesday of each week, and I do them in chronological order because that's how I build the spread. I of course do not use everything in here, but I want to just brain dump everything that I could include, and then I'll decide when I actually build the spread what I include. But this is very helpful because otherwise I would totally forget. So one day a week, I spend time in my memory planner, and it kind of depends on my schedule, which day of the week that would be, but I'd usually plan it on a rest day, or if I have a day off or an afternoon off or something like that. So for this week, I just happen to have this day off, and so I'm going to use it to work on my memory planner, but usually it's like Tuesday or Wednesday. Today, it just happens to be Monday. But I have my Sadie Stickers memory planner here. And then I've got some pictures from Walgreens that I just picked up. And then I've got the kit that I'm going to use. I was going to use a different kit this week, but I kind of looked at my spreadsheet where I keep all of my kit information. And the kit I was going to use this week, I like it, but I don't love it. And this one just seemed kind of fun, like for Valentine's Day or whatever. So I love Friends too. So let's just use this one. So let's get into here and grab my pictures. Okay, so I've got some pictures here and I need to cut them out really quick. I use a paper cutter. So let's do that. I get 3x3 collages printed at Walgreens because I like the print quality of Walgreens pictures and I like squares. That's just my style. All right, so I have all my pictures here. I've got my kit that I'm going to use and I'm ready to build my memory spread. It usually takes me about 45 minutes from start to finish to film it. And I'm really excited to use this kit because I've got these extra boxes and the colors are so cute and the art is just adorable. So I've gotten my notes here from my EC notepad that I showed you earlier, and I'm just going to clip it right up here on this little pin organizer I have on the wall. It just is really easy to see up there. I've got my kit, I've got my planner, I've got my pictures all ready to go, and I kind of put them in the order of the week so that I know where they go. And I've got my notes and I'm ready to do it. So let's build this spread. So this is obviously a very abbreviated version of what I do in my normal memory spreads, but you can kind of get the idea of what I do. So I lay down the base of the spread. Sometimes I add some deco or some date covers, and I just love adding decorative elements to these spreads. They just make it really fun. I include as many full boxes as I can, and then for each day, I write down the highlights, the lowlights, everything in between, and I include lots of character stickers, and I just kind of have fun with it. You can't see it in this video, obviously, but I am looking at my notes that are right in front of me as I put this together because there's no way I could remember everything. So keeping those notes is really helpful because then I can remember everything that I want to include, and I can also remember the details of those things. I do love including pictures and visuals. Sometimes I'll even include quotes and things like that, but it just gives me a glimpse into what that week was like and when I look back on it, and I love that about this. The sidebar in my memory spreads is for a quick journaling little section and for my favorite moment of the week. So here's what a finished memory spread looks like. Here's a couple more. I use my monthlies for highlights, which are really fun. But I love this planner so much, and it is worth the hour that it takes me to sit down and actually do this. It just helps me decompress and process the week in a way that's fun, and I think I need that. So I make time for it. And usually it's on Tuesday or Wednesday of the week, just whenever I want to take a rest day from my workouts and use my time in this way. Any leftovers that I have from the kit, I throw into a little felt box, and then I go through them every 6 months or so. I do have leftovers videos on my channel if you want to check those out and see me organizing all of them. But I do organize all of that and make use of it and then hand it on to someone else. So I feel like I use everything that I buy. Every Friday, I prep my planner for the next week. I print out my lesson plans and I glue them into my teacher lesson planner so that I have them there. They're in tiny font, but I can read it, and I love having that kind of abbreviated version in my planner. And then I go ahead and write in any classroom to-dos that I have for my class. And then I also prep for any kind of instructional coaching things that I have coming up for the next week. And then I also go ahead and make a list of materials I need to prep for my Google Classroom, as well as paper copies, and go ahead and check those off as I do them. And then I go ahead and throw my planner in my bag and take it home for the weekend so that I have it if I need it. So it is currently Saturday, and I do a couple of different things to accommodate the stacked weekend in my plum paper. So these days, the space is so much smaller than the other days of the week, like the weekdays. So I do put in my highlights for the day, but then I also utilize a notepad. So I've got 3 different options here that I use. One of them, the most simple, is a to-do list. This is just a Ray Dunn checklist notepad, and it's straightforward. I just make a list and I do my list. So this is for days where I don't have anything scheduled and there's no time crunch on anything. I can just work at my own pace. This notepad is from Moxie Life. It is the daily notepad, and this one is great. It has tons of space, which I really, really love. And it's a sticky notepad, so I can put it wherever I want. But it just has tons of to-dos, and you can break down the day however you want. You can put in a focus and priorities. You can use this space for whatever. So I use this one for like really busy days or just days that kind of need a little bit more structure. And then this notepad is from Cultivate What Matters. What I like about this one is it already has the week or the times of the day broken down for you, and there's space enough for you to kind of double up. It also has a space, like everything's already labeled. So you have a space for meal prep, for exercise, to check off your water, for tomorrow. The to-do list is short, but I have found that if I have something that has a time, I can just put a checklist beside it and just check it off there. And then you have a space for gratitude and priorities. So this one is really nice, and the paper is super thick. It's really like super nice to write on, but I don't use it all the time. I think I use this one probably more, but I do love this one too. So these are for days that are a little bit more, have more going on. And this is for the more simple days. On Sundays, it's the time for me to reset for the next week. So I make sure that I get my weekly actions all updated, I get my reflections done, and then I go ahead and set my weekly actions for the next week. This whole process takes me anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. I usually do not do it in one sitting. My reflections, I will usually finish up on Sunday, but I'll start them on Saturday. So I just kind of have a couple of sessions for me to grab info from my brain and put it on paper. And then this process takes me anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. So really doesn't take me that long to do this, especially since I am in a routine and I'm consistent with it. My brain just knows what to do. I don't have to think about it too much. So I just do it. On Sundays, I also finish up my plum paper spread. So this is the finished spread in my plum paper vertical priorities. And I love how this turned out. It's very cute, but it's also very functional for me. This, I'd like to call it functional because yes, I decorate, but I also use it every day, and it just is kind of like my lifeline. This is where I spend a lot of my time during the week. Also on Sundays, it's helpful for me to break down my day a little bit more because otherwise I will just let it get away from me. So today I'm using the Cultivate What Matters notepad, the daily notepad. But like I showed in the last clip, I use a variety of different things. Sometimes a to-do list is all I need. Today I feel the need for just a little bit more. So that's why I went with this one. So now that I have everything wrapped up for this current week, I'm ready to think about the next week and start the whole cycle again. So I've already picked out my kit. I'm going to use this really cute Rainbow Dreams kit from Hand Can Plan. I think it's going to be really fun, and yeah, it's going to be adorable, I think. But I'm ready to go ahead and set up next week. So I start all the way back at the beginning of my process and do it all over again. So I hope that you enjoyed this systems video. I hopefully will do these more often, maybe every 6 months or so you can really see how everything works together, because I think it's helpful to see that. I use 4 planners and people always ask me, like, how does that work? So now you get to actually like see how it works. So I hope that it did kind of give you a glimpse into how my week really goes and how much time I spend in my planners and how they work together and separately. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hit that notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload, and I will see you next time. Bye!